5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
And it's live.
This is Leicester Till I Die TV. Watch and subscribe on YouTube and listen on your podcast platform.
There we are. Good evening, good morning, good day, goodbye, all that shit. How you doing? Hope you're having a good day. I'm having an absolute shit one here. The radio station settings have completely fucked up all my YouTube settings, and I am not the happy place. But you're going to tune in to me in the morning on the radio show. Don't, because I'm not going on there because I'm that pissed off with it all. Right, it's the prediction show, and I'm pleased to welcome along our new regular host. Brad can't make it this evening. Wayne, good evening, sir.
Evening, Chris. How are you doing?
Well, not having the best of days, like I say, but there we go. I mean, it's just impossible, isn't it, to predict this season?
It's absolutely crazy. Absolutely crazy. You know, there's teams at the bottom beating people in mid-table. You think a certain team's got a certain run of form, and then they just go and get flipped on its head. So, prediction-wise, it's a nightmare, Chris.
Somebody, you can hear me okay, can you?
I think your volume's a little bit low, Chris.
How is that?
That's better.
Okay, can everybody hear me in the chat now? Tommy's just said he can't hear me. Tommy, are you able to hear me now? I'm just going to wait and see. Better. Okay, let me just try one or two things. I don't know if that... how's that?
That's good. Good.
Is that good? Right, we'll stick with that one unless anybody says they can't hear me again. Right, do you like our new picture? Look at that. Look, a pair of good old bookies.
Which one's Al Capone, Chris?
He's behind. He's trying to get in. But right, well, look, let's have a look at the table now. Obviously this doesn't include this week's matches because we've still got this week's matches to do. Wayne, obviously that wasn't you, but you are taking over. I don't know if any of your points yet have been added on to that. Luke will be dropping out of it because he's gone 2 weeks and not notified us what he's doing, so we're just going to kick him out. But Nate is still at the top there. Spencer, Craig Beasley, Paddy from Bournemouth, he is up in 5th. I'm still getting my nosebleed, although I am down 1 on last week, but I'm on the left-hand side of the table. Kate is dropping like a stone. Brad... I think Brad would be even lower. Poor Jeff, and I hope you're feeling better, Jeff, if you managed to watch this on catch up. He's had a lot of he's been in hospital for quite a while, so he hasn't actually been taking part because of that. Otherwise Brad would be even, Brad who said he'd won this twice.
Like Brad said, you notice you've been talking about it a lot more now. You're doing well, Chris.
Yeah. Oh yes, indeed. I still put it down to the fact that when I was in Australia, I had to predict 5 weeks in advance.
Like basically hamstrung, Chris, hamstrung.
Yes, it was. I don't, it was impossible. Impossible. Right, okay.
First to you, Doug. It's doable, Chris.
I don't think so, but we'll see. Let's go through, and I've got Brad's predictions for this week as well. But here are the games. It's match week 22 already. The only thing I can say, based on the last 4 weeks' games, or the last 4 games, that we are bottom of the form table.
Wow. What are figures? What statistics, Chris?
Yes. Yeah. What is it? But here we go. Well, we start Saturday morning with the match that is on TNT Sports, 12:30 kickoff. Look, Newcastle. They are top of the league. They've won the last 4, beating Aston Villa. They beat Manchester United, Tottenham Hotspur, and Wolves.
I think Chris, to be honest.
Sorry?
Because the Beaters did. I think they won the last 6.
They probably have. It only just shows me 4 here, but yeah, they're on. Basically, they are the in-form team. I mean, I know a lot of the Newcastle fans were saying about, mid-table wouldn't be good enough. Well, they are slowly climbing it up. Bournemouth. Look, they're sat in 8th, and I think if you offered that to any Bournemouth fan at the start of the season, they'd have bitten your hand off. They've been up higher than that. They've been a little bit lower. But it's at Newcastle. Can you see anything other than a Newcastle win, Wayne?
No, it's Craig watching, or will he watch?
He's not now. He's not. We can say what we want.
No, I know Craig was disappointed and frustrated with Bournemouth. But Newcastle are basically bang on the form that they were supposed to be. Isak's back from injury scoring. Gordon's playing well. They're just quality. Joe Linton in midfield. I mean, do you think he'd consider coming to Leicester?
Well, Almiron isn't. He's going off back to, we even refuse so players can go to the MLS in America. That's how bad we are at the moment.
Gutted, mate. Gutted.
Yes. I'm just looking the games between these two teams. Last season, earlier on in this season, it was a 1-1 draw at Bournemouth, and the one before that was a 2-2 draw at Newcastle. That was in November last year, November 23. So they got relegated. How do you think this is going to go?
I think I get Craig's frustration because Bournemouth on the day can beat anybody or give anybody a good game.
You can't beat Leicester though. I'm grasping at straws, aren't I?
That's a bit cruel, that is, Chris. Newcastle, I'd say they are scoring freely.
Yeah.
I'd say it's going to be 3-1.
A 3-1. Yes, yeah. The scary thing that you've gone for exactly the same as me. I've gone 3-1. Brad was a good start. Brad went 2-0. I think Bournemouth can score, and I think they will. But Newcastle at the moment, I can't see anybody beating them, to be honest with you. And maybe they've just timed that right. Liverpool, they've not really had a bad run, have they? So if Newcastle can carry this on and then Liverpool do hit the buffers a little bit, who knows? The fat lady might have to get back into her room.
I think Newcastle might end up giving Arsenal a challenge for second.
Yes, definitely. Talking of Liverpool, as you can see there, John's gone 2-1 to Newcastle. Brad went 2-0, like I say. So we're all not giving Bournemouth much of a chance. Now, the next game, which is the first of the 3:00 kickoffs, Brentford, who are absolutely awful at home, are up against Liverpool. If this was away, Brentford would probably get at least a draw here. Can you see again anything other than a Liverpool win?
Well, Brentford normally are very good at home, but they lost in the cup at home, didn't they, I think?
Mm.
The giant killing. So I really like Thomas Frank, but I think Brentford, unless in one sort of firing on all fours, and he's in my fantasy football team.
Right.
I think Liverpool 3-2. So
3-2. Oh, it's going to be a tight one then. Is that to Liverpool or to Brentford?
That's 3-2 to Liverpool. Yeah.
3-2. Right. Okay.
What do you?
I can see a Liverpool win. Do I think that Brentford will get a goal though? I do actually. I'm going to go for Brentford 1, Liverpool 2. Which, funnily enough, is what John's just gone for. But
I think that's a good call, Chris.
Yeah. Well, Brad's gone 2-0 to Liverpool, so he's reversed his. But I think it will be a tight game, to be honest with you. But can you see anybody stopping Liverpool, or are we just waiting to crown them?
It's interesting with Salah if he can carry on at the rate he's scoring, because it is the difference. If Salah played for Leicester within the table, Salah played for Villa, they'd probably up in the top 3. So, yeah, Trent Alexander-Arnold is, his form's a bit.
Yeah, well, I was saying because Real Madrid, who were after him, may be pulling out because of his form.
Yeah. I mean, defensively, that's always been levelled against him. And a couple of the goals, he's literally just watched people dribble by him and he's not got involved. Yeah, so attacking brilliant, defensively. Yeah.
Obviously, Leicester are playing Fulham, God help us. But we're going to leave that until the end, because that's what we do on a Leicester channel. We build up the suspense. Yes, that will be last. We'll leave them till last. The last of the 3 o'clock, so there's only the 3, is West Ham United under new boss Potter against Crystal Palace, who we know what they can do. And look, West Ham, they are sat 9th. They actually beat Fulham 3-2 midweek. But they did lose to Manchester City. They did lose to Liverpool, but that was pre-Potter. PP, as we like to call it. What I was impressed, and I was actually, I mean, I know we spent a lot of the game yesterday talking about how bad Leicester were. We were a Leicester channel, so it's kind of expected. But Palace impressed me. And I'll tell you what, Glasner impressed me as well. Because even in that second half, in that first half, when they basically, was it the first or the second half? My mind is trying to block it out for me. But even when they were ahead, he was still not happy with things. And he was still going mad and shouting at the players. And they soaked up the pressure. All right, maybe if they had played anybody other than Leicester, there might have been a couple of goals down at half time. But they soaked up the pressure and then they came back. I was impressed with Palace against us.
How dare you say that?
I'm being honest. I've given up on. I've got nothing bad left to say about Leicester, so I might as well praise the opposition.
I spoke to a couple of customers and friends who was chatting when I was working, and I said to them, "So, what do you think when you went down to the match yesterday?" And they said, "Do you know, Palace were very ordinary.
Really,
we just took the chances very well, and we didn't take our chances." But they said they think we're playing great football. So I said, well, do you think if we took the chances that Palace, that we'd have ended up beating Palace? And they said, yes, we think more.
Wow.
So they said they were look like a bottom six side, really.
Do you think? Oh, I think this is Potter's. Not sure this is his first home game or not, but it is a home game, and that's going to make a bit of difference. New manager, first game at home.
Yeah, definitely. At your own stadium. Then again, the atmosphere is not that good there, is it? Apparently, so. Potter, it probably took a while to get was going at Chelsea. I don't know whether he's got it to cut it, Potter. I think West Ham are a difficult side without Bowen, who last year was on the fantasy football team. I just think without Bowen, they do lack cutting edge. So I know they scored 3, but I'd say West Ham 1, Palace 1.
Oh, you've gone for a 1-1. Well, I can tell you that West Ham and Palace. Brad has gone for a Desmond.
Right.
He's gone for a 2-2. Made me laugh midweek. He said, "Bloody hell! If we'd gone for 2-2s, we'd have got some points." I said, "I did, and I got 3. Thank you very much."
What you're thinking,
This is probably one of the most difficult ones to predict. Because I think I'm going to edge it to West Ham. I don't want to go 2-1 again, and John's gone for 2-1 for everything. I don't want to do that again, but I just think the Potter effect at home might just push it. I'm going to go for a very boring 1-0 West Ham.
To be honest, how many people choose a low score like 1-0?
Yes.
Really happens, isn't it?
Yes. So, John hasn't put his in yet, but I've gone 1-0 to West Ham. And next up, we have got Arsenal against Aston Villa. Now, earlier in the season, this was 2-0 to Arsenal at Villa. Now, this one is obviously at the Emirates. Arsenal, look, they messed up the FA Cup game, didn't they? I just don't know. I've got a sneaky feeling for Villa. I don't know about you.
Yeah, Arsenal. I thought you were going to say something scathing about Arsenal. They're struggling at the moment.
They are, and they've got the injuries.
Yeah. So Saka's injured, isn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah. I just think defensively looked solid at the beginning of the season, but now, teams can score against them. Remember the season that Arsenal won the title? Was it 13 goals in?
Yeah, something. Yeah, it was. That was always 1-0 to the Arsenal, wasn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So I would say Villa 2, Arsenal 1. Actually, yeah.
Villa 2, Arsenal 1, and I have matched you again on that. I had 2-1. I then thought, no, actually no. Because they did all right against Tottenham, didn't they?
Don't you think that's a strange score to say that Arsenal are going to lose it to Villa?
I'm actually going to go 2-2. I'm going to go for a Desmond on that one. Because I just think Arsenal did do it against Tottenham. So, and I know they only just won, but they had a lot more chances, didn't they?
Yeah, and I think it's crunch time for Arsenal, isn't it, really, this place? Next few games. Otherwise, they're going to kiss the title goodbye, really.
They are. And Villa's, their form's been up and down a bit. They're not consistent. And sorry, actually, John did go 2-1 West Ham Palace. I do apologise. I missed that, John. But he's gone 1-1. I've gone for Desmond. And hi, Nate. How are you doing? And that's it for the Saturday. There's not many games on the Saturday with them being midweek ones. So we actually come then to the Sunday. And the first game, which is, the Arsenal West Ham is on Sky Sports. And the first one on the Sunday, which is a 2 o'clock kickoff, is also on Sky Sports. New manager syndrome as well. Everton hosting Tottenham Hotspur. Tottenham Hotspur, they are just the club that just keep on giving and giving.
I mean, the hope. I mean, you talk about started when we want to get into the Champions League, all the highs and lows. But if you're a Spurs supporter, my goodness, you'd be paying for £50 a week therapy sessions, wouldn't you?
Yes, yes. I mean, I literally, for me, I kind of put Tottenham in that same pot as Manchester United, whereas the troubles go deeper than just the manager or just the players. Because they've got a squad that, let's be honest with you, should be winning things, Tottenham. And the managers they've got have been, well, apart from Nuno, didn't work out for them. But the managers they've had have had decent managers. But, I mean, you know, as I said, they lost. Now, Everton lost against Villa 1-0. That was at home. So it's not Moyes' return, if you like. This is the return of the return. It's going to take him a few matches to get going. Now, Everton always do slightly better at home. I think I'm going to go actually 2-0 to Tottenham on this one, mainly because I need Everton to lose.
Yes.
Yeah. But Brad's gone 1-2. Everton 1, Tottenham 2. I just think it will take Moyes. I mean, he's gone back. He said he didn't want a relegation battle. Now he's gone back to Everton, which I understand because of the history between him and the club. But it's not going to be an easy ride for him, is it?
No, and didn't you say he didn't want to get back into management in a relegation battle?
Yeah, yes.
Thinking, okay, so what is the job of Everton entailing?
But it is Everton, I think. That's the thing. That's the draw with him.
I mean, should he have ever got sacked from there or left? You know,
Well, he didn't. Well, he didn't get sacked from Everton, did he? He went to Manchester United.
That's right. Yes.
Yes. Which again, you're not going to turn that job down, are you? In fairness, when these teams met earlier in the season at Spurs ground, it was 4-0 to Spurs.
Everton struggled. They're really good defensively, and did they get 3 draws against Arsenal, Man City, top teams anyway? But they just struggled to score, don't they? So I'd say Spurs 2, Everton 0. Just what's interesting is Solanke going from Bournemouth. He's not really got into a groove and scored enough goals to, was it £50 million?
Something 60, something like that, wasn't it? Yes. Yeah. I mean, the funny thing is, Tottenham are 16th and only drawn 1 in the last 4. Everton are in 17th, only drawn 1 in the last 4. So this could well be 0-0 at the end of the day. But no, I think, like you, we've gone the same again, 2-0, and I think that's how it's going to come out. Right. It does. We need all the help we can get, let's be honest. Right, so that's the Sky Sports kick-off at 2 o'clock. 2 more games at 2 o'clock. The first one is team in transition, Manchester United, against Brighton. Now, Brighton had a very bright start to the season, but they've dropped down to 12th in the form table. Manchester United are in 18th in the form table based on the last 4 games, which I think most of which have been Amorim. So he's having the same problem, although he did get the draw with Liverpool, but that was, you know, the big game for them, wasn't it? That was a bigger game than playing Man City. They lost to Wolves, can you believe? Lost to Bournemouth, lost to Newcastle, which most people are doing at the moment. They then drew with Manchester United. Now, Brighton, like I say, started off very, very well, but they have had 4 draws. West Ham, Brentford, Aston Villa and Arsenal. And if we look at what they did earlier in the season, when this game was when this game was played, it was 2-1 to Brighton.
Yeah, Brighton started so well. In fact, at one stage I had Tamar, João Pedro, and my brother had had Welbeck in the fancy sides, but we've substituted them out, basically. They just can't score goals, struggling. And apparently, this was the season where they were going to break the usual model and they were going to try and get into the Champions League or into Europe. You know, rather than just being used as a selling club, being stable mid-table in Premier. So I can see it being a very disappointing season for Brighton. I think Man United will beat them, although they can be very up and down. I'd say 3-1 to Man United.
Oh, right. Brad's gone 2-0 to Brighton.
Ooh.
I'm going to go for another. I'm going to go 1-1. I think this will be another draw. I'm not going to go for a Desmond, but I'm going to go for another draw. Nottingham Forest. Let's look. I know they're our rivals, but I'd love them if they were to win the league this season and stop one of the big sixes doing it. I'd love to see them manage it. And I know everybody's saying, "Hey, you shouldn't be saying that. It's it's Nottingham Forest." But look, they were behind us. Most of them were. The normal fans were. Let's say that. Let me just say, sorry. What did John go for? He went 2-1 Man United, Brighton. And John went 1-2 to Tottenham on that one as well. He does like his 2-1s, like Tommy says. Look, Southampton, if they was to pick up some wins, we would be in trouble. Thank God for PSR that didn't find us against it, because I think if we got points deducted from PSR, we could actually have ended up bottom.
Yeah, I was going to get a T-shirt and Mr. Marco is the god.
yeah, don't blame you. Earlier in the season, Southampton 0, Nottingham Forest 1. Look, form table, what can I say? Forest second to Newcastle, 1-3, drawn 1, which was the last one out against Liverpool, who they'd already beaten. Southampton, they're above us because they got a draw against Fulham. 3-0 to Nottingham Forest, says Brad. I think I'm going to go 2-0 to Nottingham Forest.
Southampton not to score. I'd say Forest 4, Southampton 1.
Ooh.
I think Forest is so good defensively. I mean, Woods is just having a brilliant season. They've got strong fullbacks, athletic through the midfield, great wingers. Southampton, you wonder what stages are they going to decide preparing for the Championship. So I'd say 4-1 Forest.
Yeah, and the new manager, and the funny thing was, we were listening to a commentator and he said, at least when Russell Martin was there, you could see they had a plan, they played to on the pitch that they played to. He said, I just can't see anything under this new guy, and that's not a good sign, But yeah, 3-1, John.
Really good football, to be honest. They just did the catastrophic.
Yeah.
Kamikaze things at the back. Going forward, they look brilliant.
Don't we know all about that, eh? Yeah. Right, let's have a look. Ipswich, Manchester City. It's at Ipswich. Ipswich are doing something that we are not, and that's showing a bit of bottle and fight. It was 4-1 earlier on in the season, but it's a different Manchester City now, and a different Ipswich, in fairness. Although Brad has gone 3-1 to Manchester City. Ooh, and on the form side, Ipswich are in 13th. They drew the last one, won the one before that because they beat Chelsea. and lost to Newcastle and Arsenal, which is nothing to be ashamed of. Manchester City are in 5th. They've turned it around a little bit because they went about 4 or 5 without a win, didn't they? But they have the last 4 are drawn, beat us, beat West Ham, and then drew again with Brentford. Can Ipswich get anything, or are Manchester City going to do us a favour?
I think Man City have turned the corner as much as they're not playing absolutely woefully. And they're not pressing, not organising and doing that in an organised way. I don't think they're anywhere near how they played before. Ipswich is really good in form, and I think they've got good fight. They've got a few quality players. Delat. And in the last 6, they've won 2 and drawn 1. So I can't see it slipping up, to be honest, in the dynamic of us finishing above it, which I think will finish above us. But I do think, what game is it? Ipswich Man City. I say 2-2.
Ooh, going for your first Desmond of the evening. Brad's gone 3-1. John has gone 2-1. Surprise. But I've got to say, I'm sorry, I'm agreeing with John. I've gone 2-1 to Manchester City. More in hope than actual belief, because I think Ipswich could get something from this, and I wouldn't be surprised if it was a draw. But I'm hoping Man City will do us a favour. Come on, Enzo. You and Rude get on well. Thank you. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. That's 4:30 on the Sunday on Sky. And we've got a Monday evening show, a Monday evening game this week. Chelsea hosting Wolverhampton Wanderers. Chelsea, who are in 15th in the form table. They've dropped off a little bit. Lost to Fulham, lost to Ipswich, drew with Crystal Palace, and drew with Bournemouth. That's their last... that's their last 4 games. Wolves are in 14th, so just 1 position above them in the form table. Beat Man United, drew with Spurs, lost to Forest, lost to Newcastle. Again, I think I know which way I'm hoping it will go. And we shouldn't be relying on other teams, but it is what it is, I guess. 3-0 for Chelsea, says Brad.
Wow. I'd say we 2 to Chelsea 3. Yeah, Chelsea 3, Wolves 2. I think Wolves are a great team. I think they will catch Chelsea out. But you've got some quality players. I mean, Chelsea's really disappointed, really. And I think Enzo's got to think himself at, maybe not more direct sometimes to get the results. But I think Chelsea will do us a favour in 3-2.
Yeah, John's just said there are a lot of 2-1s games again. I tell you what, mate, I've gone for 1. Well, I've only gone 2 2-1s actually. I've got a couple of 2-0s in there. Wolves started off very well under the new manager. Really, really did. Well, we know this stuff does, didn't they? But then who doesn't at the moment?
But they have drawn and lost the last 2. The last
they have. Yes. Yeah. No, well, that's the thing. I think the new manager bounce is going down, and the one that they won before that was Manchester United, and that always goes either way this season. What's that player called that is that's their best player? He was banned. Is he back? Do we know?
Oh, is that Cunha?
Yes.
I don't know whether he's back. Was he banned for 3? Was it like violence? 3 matches.
I'm just having a look, but I don't think it was that bad because he said he would buy a new pair of glasses, didn't he? I know. So I think they actually let him off. Let's just have a look and see what
Is that the same as like a speed awareness course? If you get caught?
Yes, yeah. It's not telling me, which is fantastic to know. Because to be honest with you, he could make the difference.
He is literally the reason why they're probably not bottom.
Yes. No, there's nothing on the there's nothing on the Premier League site anyway.
I think if he's playing, Chris, can you sneak in and put some fiery jack in his boxes?
Yeah. I hate to go for it again. I think Wolves will score. Ooh. Probably, I'm going to go Chelsea 4, Wolves 1.
Wow.
I know. I need the points.
Chris, sorry, what did Brad say?
Brad said 3-0 to Chelsea. John, let's have a roll of the drums. What has John gone for? 2-1. Love it, John. Love it. So he's gone 4-1. Well, no, I've gone 4-1. He's gone 2-1. I just think Chelsea, every now and again, pull out a performance.
Yeah, I mean, Palmer's in my fancy football because he can score 2 goals like that. Yeah.
He can. I mean, no team is ever one man, but he's the closest, isn't he? Now then, oh God, we've got to talk about it. 3 o'clock on.
In your voice, Chris. Then.
Yes, 3-1. Sorry, we've got to talk about the 3 o'clock kickoff on Saturday. And I know that the Premier League have a 3 o'clock blackout. I wish I could have a 3 o'clock blackout. At the end of that Palace game, I actually said, why the bloody hell am I doing these watch-alongs? And I'm sorry, I've just been absolutely distracted there because apparently somebody's bid 15 million for Edouard. I know there was an American, MLS Atlanta or somebody like that was talking about him, but he preferred, but they want to try and get that Lathe from Middlesbrough. He's a smooth finisher, isn't he?
He's a top.
Lathe.
Yeah.
Lathe. I should know. When you have to explain them, it doesn't really work, does it?
Oh, you're just checking your ear all week, Chris. Yeah.
Unfortunately, I am. Yes, for you, Rock. That would be absolutely brilliant. Who is it, John? Who's daft enough? Apparently, we want to send him back, but Palace don't want him. Palace fans don't want him. Oh, it is Atlantic United. So it is the... Because I thought they were after Lathe, John. But interesting.
Leicester fans waiting to take him to the airport, aren't they?
Well, this is it, you know. Sort of GoFundMe page would actually probably pay for the flight as well. Atlanta, I knew you meant, John. Atlanta United. I'm just having a look. I mean, that would be absolute. Why we just can't send him back, I don't know.
That is a cock-up in negotiations, isn't it? That's...
Yes. Unless they don't want to release him just in case we don't get anybody else in, which would be an even more of a Leicester thing to do. I'm just seeing if there's anything.
We're talking about discussing if Cannon comes back, is he good enough?
He can't do any worse, can he?
No, not at all.
That's how I would look at it. Because, you know, Vardy, and I'm sorry he was a donkey the other night. It's bad of Leicester. And look, I am not in any way diminishing his attitude or hi Craig. Craig's in from up the cherries in all departments. I'm not diminishing his attitude. He wants to go and win on that pitch. So I'm not saying that at all. What I'm saying is he's gone past his best by date.
Yeah, because one thing me and my brother were talking about some of the elements of our work that we've done have been quite dangerous, and when you get away with it, and your reflexes are the thing that goes as you get older. That is like the ability to breathe and set yourself. And Vardy was expert at, feinting the keeper and taking it around him. Selling the keeper, making him sit on his bum. He could do everything within a split second. And I think this year, his speed of and awareness is catching up with him.
Yes, yeah. And look, I actually got quite a bit of abuse on Facebook, who knew, because I actually did that show, is Vardy past his sell-by date? And maybe he's not past his sell-by date, but he's definitely past his best before date. Yeah. Look, if Daka had been on from the start and he'd played like that, he would have got absolutely abused. He really would. And the interesting thing is that it's not necessarily Vardy's fault. It's the fact that Leicester haven't got anybody in that can compete. Now, that's not necessarily Leicester's fault, because look, getting Daka, he was supposed to be the new Vardy.
Yeah.
I would have let Daka go and kept Iheanacho, in fairness, because I think Iheanacho and Vardy worked well together, but not to be. We bought Cannon back because we want to sell Cannon, apparently. Why? Let's keep him for 6 months. I mean, if we're going to go out and buy a striker that we don't really know too much about, why don't we just keep Cannon?
Do you know, when I heard Cannon coming back, you're thinking, yes, that might be good. And then you say, well, yeah, he's coming back because we need to sell him. Just leave you scratching your head and thinking, yeah.
It does. I've got to say, look, I'm going to play this because I think it needs to be played. But if you just bear with me 1 second, I've just got to find it again because I've just lost it. Where are we? Here we go. Yes, he is quite right. On Sky Sports News Transfer Centre, 2 hours ago, Atlanta United bid 50 million for Palace striker Edouard. Atlanta United have made a 50 million bid for Crystal Palace striker Osdoin Edouard, despite closing in on an 18 million deal with Middlesbrough for Emmanuel Latte-Lav. It's believed Atlanta will only sign one striker to fill one of their designated player spots, with Lathe the preferred option. So with them agreeing, it says are close to agreeing the deal with Borough, but still need to discuss terms with the player. Sky Sport News have been told they've also made a move for their second target, who's Edouard, who is currently on loan at Leicester. You wouldn't know it. Atlanta, who are now managed by former Celtic boss Ronnie Delia, have been making ambitious plans ahead of their new season. I'm a bit disappointed now.
Do you know what? If they've observed Edouard's loan spell with Leicester, I mean, why are they offering 15 million for him?
I suppose, in fairness, being pretty shit in English football, you know where I'm going with this, makes you pretty damn hot in the MLS. And I'm not diminishing the MLS, but, we are saying, and look, Brad was saying the other day about, the fact that Ruder's managed in PSV in the Dutch league doesn't make him a good manager. And I think it's the same with players. How many players have gone there? You look, when the Americans started with their league years ago, Alan Birchnell even went over. George Best went over. Sorry?
Rodney Marsh as well.
Rodney Marsh, George Best, Pele, but it was all at the end of the careers. And even now, you don't get many young players going, oh, I want to go and play in America. I'm sorry, you don't, David Beckham, when he went over there, he was towards the end of his career. Oh, I mean, I know he did have a bit of a spurt after that. Now, players are prepared to say, oh, I want to go and play in the Saudi league. It's not because it's such a good bloody league. It's because it's the money. Yeah, exactly. So he could be a huge success there.
Are you saying Edward at the end of his career? Chris, how dare you?
Yes, it's been a short career, but,
I thought he was about 32, 33. He's only 28 or something like that.
Yeah, but come on, let's be honest with you. He's had his career, hasn't he? I mean, certainly in this country.
When he came on for us.
I don't even remember him coming on for us, I have to say. I mean, how much are we paying him? And we are paying it some of his wages to just not even make the bench. Surely, surely as the club that loans somebody, we can cancel it.
Yeah, and also like loaning, sometimes clubs say, well, we'll take him on loan, we can pay something towards his wages. Apparently, it's £90,000 a week or something like that.
It was a bit of a desperate signing, I think, because it was not. Well, I said that they were trying to sort of placate the fans by signing a striker. I just think, though, it's just bloody stupid. But then again, look,
you could get signed for 6 weeks and £450,000.
Yeah,
nice.
I know. I mean, Cannon, we've called him back on the very last day that we were able to. The worst thought, well, we might loan him out again. No, you're not. Because if you're going to loan him out again, you leave him at Stoke, where he's playing very, very well. So we're either going to play him or sell him. Apparently, there's 15 million offers in there for him. We paid 8, so it'd be a good, nice profit on him. But stick him up front. Everybody's saying to me as well, yeah, but he's only doing it well in the Championship. He may not be able to do it in the Premier League. Jamie Vardy was a Conference League player at one point.
Yeah. Barnes went on.
Yeah. Well, look, Fulham, they tore us a strip off when we played them in the second match of the season. And they very much impressed me. You could tell they were an established Premier League team. The manager had been there a couple of seasons. They understood what he wanted. They played to what he wanted, understanding that. It was only 2-1 earlier in the season, but they really did, I think, say they do as well. Look, they're 11th, middle for diddle in the form table. They beat Chelsea, drew with Bournemouth, drew with Ipswich, but just lost to West Ham last time out. So again, a bit like Brighton, they started off well. They have slipped back a little bit. Do you want me to tell you how Leicester have been getting on in the last few games?
I'd rather not, Chris, but go and cut on.
No. I don't want to. I mean, my therapist has said it's good to talk, but I don't want to. I don't want to make it any worse for you. Look, Brad has gone 2-1 to Leicester.
Right. Any reasons why? Any reasons why Brad thinks he can score 2 goals?
He's doing what I used to do, which was I can't go against my team.
Yeah.
I think that's what he's done. But are you going to go against your team?
You got Jimenez up front, you got Iwobi, who's on his day, you got Anthony Robinson, who's American, who's brilliant. He's so powerful and physical.
Yeah.
And you've got Torre. Is it Torre? He used to play for.
I'm not sure. Excuse me.
I say 2-2.
You're going for Desmond of the door. Yeah. 2 Desmonds. Wow.
Where the 2 goals are coming from, Chris, I do not know.
Edward, He's going to come on as a super sub. 2-0 down with 5 minutes to go. He's going to get 2 goals in the 89th and 94th minute. You heard it here first, everybody.
Hey.
Now, look. I have, even when we were last season in the Championship and we were playing well and we were predicting wins week in, week out, and then we went on that bad run when, we went from 17 points clear to being behind Leeds by 1 goal leads. But even then I was predicting that Leicester would win. As far as I'm looking at this now, and I am hoping that there's going to be a great escape, but I can't see it happening. And I'm sorry, I think we're going down. And I think Fulham are going to beat us. And I've gone Leicester City 1, Fulham 3.
Wow. Yeah, I was going to go 2. I went 2-2 just because it's Leicester, but yeah. I mean,
See, I've decided I want the points more in the prediction league than backing my team. Now, I have to say that John has gone 5-0 to Leicester.
Wow. Get it.
No, he hasn't. He's joking, he says here. 2-1 to Fulham. So he kind of agrees with me. And it's sad that we've come to that stage, isn't it, really, where we're even predicting losses for our team.
Yeah, I watched the after-match sort of summary, and you guys were really quite low in spirit, understandably. Even Tom was sort of trying to look for a few positives, but we are struggling to score, and it's like Matty Fry said, if you let him 2 goals a game, then that is not survival form.
No, not at all. I mean, just here's some stats for you. We've got 1 clean sheet all season. It's a 6th straight loss in the Premier League. The 7th game under Ruud van Nistelrooy that in succession we've conceded 2 goals. The 4th game in 6 that Leicester City have failed to score. And I actually said on Tuesday's show on the City chat, I remember Craig was saying a long time ago that Tielemans would be the hill that Rodgers died on. Because he kept picking him no matter how awful he was, and he was awful towards the end. And I've got the same feeling. Unfortunately, I think Vardy is going to be the hill that Ruud van Nistelrooy may die on.
Yeah, I agree, Chris. The one thing, like Kate said, is who have we got to bring on in place of Vardy? When you think that all the players we've signed over the years, and you've not even signed a player that can give you 10 goals a game in the Premier. And that, for me, I'm not a fan of looking out or the board need criticising because the board bought El Canoes, managed...
Who's looking absolutely like the buy of the season.
Yeah. And I think the percentage is like you get a 40% success rate on all the signings you do. And if you spend over 30, 40 million, it might go up to about 50%. So I think the board are doing well in signings, but I think striker side of things in the Premier, if you get chances, you've got to take your chances.
Yes.
If you are letting 2 goals in, if Leicester had scored 1 or 2 of those early chances, would we have won the game? Do you think we would have won?
Yeah, you would think probably so. We could have been 2-0 up at half time, couldn't we? But
yeah.
I just think, look, and again, it's hard to blame the board because on paper, Daka was the replacement, and Iheanacho on paper was better than he probably was when he actually came on. But because of Vardy, these players aren't getting the chance. Once Iheanacho got a run in the team, he was our top scorer that season. But he never got a run in the team. He was 10 minutes on here, 5 minutes on there, and no player is going to be able to perform regularly when you're only getting that sort of game time. So the problem, unfortunately, it comes back to is Jamie Vardy. He's undroppable to a lot of Leicester fans, and he's undroppable. I mean, if we give him a 10-year contract and he stays with us until he's 48, will we still be saying, "Oh, we've got to pick Vardy. We've got to pick Vardy"? Oh, look what he used to do for us.
Yeah, and I get what
I used to be married. Now I've got my hand. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah. I get why people say, Vardy could have gone to Arsenal, but he's been loyal. But I mean, Vardy's on £140,000 a week.
yeah.
And that is not a bad rate. And
It's not. No.
if you're thinking if you're on that sort of money, you should be getting 15 goals a season. I think the problem is with Daka, with the money spent on Daka and the money we spent on Samara. I know, Brad thinks he's a great player, and I do think he is one of our better.
She's love child.
Can you wait 2 or 3 years, having spent 20 to 30 million pounds on a player, for them to?
You could argue that Daka's had that 2 or 3 years.
It has, and it's not worked out, has it? Really?
No, and look, he couldn't do it in the Championship, and that's where you would have expected him to do it.
Yeah.
Again, do you remember Ahmed Musa?
Yeah. After
we
bought,
we bought him, and we were playing in that international cup that some American idiot had set up, and he scored 3 goals against Barcelona, or 2 goals against Barcelona. We lost the match, but he scored all our goals. He never hardly played again after that. Now, unfortunately, I think that was Claudio Ranieri not playing in the right position. But we've got that, haven't we, with Daka. Scored 4 against Moscow.
Yeah.
And yet he's done nothing since. And we can't keep going, well, he did 4 against Moscow. I want Daka to do well because I want somebody to take over from Vardy. But I just think he's had his chance. Why aren't we just giving Cannon a chance, please? Because we're going to spend 15 million probably on another striker.
Yeah, I mean, Daka did that one goal this season where he literally caught it on the outside of his foot.
Yeah.
Just that brilliant touch, set it in the path. It went straight through it and hit it into the roof of the net. And the trouble is you get sort of blinkered by that sort of goal. You think, my God, he's got all this ability. He can be our saviour. But it's not. It's about what people have done. And I do think what Kate said, I forgot my point then, actually. About Cannon, what Kate said about Cannon, the fact that 3 separate managers not wanted Cannon. So you don't know what conversations go on with the manager and the players and the agents, but it does make you question what is the story there.
But I think you can't say that Ruud van Nistelrooy is one of those managers, because when Ruud van Nistelrooy came in, Cannon wasn't even in the club. So it's only been 2 managers really, which was Enzo and Cooper.
Yeah.
Look, we know Cooper's choice of players: Ayew, Edouard, Dakova Reed. So I don't exactly think he's a good choice of a character when it comes to players. But he can't. Another way I look at it is he can't do any worse, But and my other worry is that, of course, one of his assistant managers is the guy that was here under Cooper.
Right, he has got like John Barry Murphy, isn't he, the guy that was a success.
He's got a few, he's got a few in, but I always say it's good, and this is what Cooper didn't have. I mean, Enzo brought everybody in, but it's like when Claudio came in, he had Craig Shakespeare there. And if Claudio says, "Oh, I'm going to play Riyad Mahrez as a right back," you'd got Craig Shakespeare going, "Don't do that." So you've got somebody there that knew it. Unfortunately, the person that we've got in now that knows the squad and is advising Ruud on that is one of Cooper's sidekicks, which, to be honest with you, I wouldn't trust him to peel an apple.
No. Were you surprised that he stayed on?
I can see why. Cheers, John. All the best, mate. 2-1 to the lads. Yes. Because it did make sense, but I think gone are the days, really, when you have a manager and a number 2. It seems to be like a manager or a head coach and then 3 or 4 coaches underneath him. I can see why they did it, because they didn't have that with Cooper. There was nobody there to tell him because Enzo took everybody with him. So I can understand why they did it, but I just think it's just like keeping, you go into a class and, you take the worst performing pupil and say, right, you're going to tell me all about everybody. I just don't. I think it was wrong in that sense.
Yeah.
But who knows? Look, I'm sorry though. I can't predict Leicester to win anymore. I don't think we will.
I think we are struggling, because from listening to you guys in the after show, and even you, Craig and Kate, is it on Tuesday's show? We are struggling for quality when you think all the players we've sold to Nick PSR. We've sold the vast majority of our better players. And Vardy's has lost his edge.
Yeah.
Then you look at the quality players and they're injured. Pereira, Ndida, Mads Hermansen and Flattery. And without those, you lose four people out your potential start, at least 3 out of the starting 11. Ricky P eventually probably will come back in. So that is just too big a gap.
Yes.
To make up. And now the quality of the squad, you can just see it's not there, is it?
It isn't, unfortunately, and if we go down, I think it'll be a long, long time before we come back up again, because we're just going to get hit by the EFL doing it. Straight back up and straight back down. That's the way we do. We're going to try and win the second tier for a 10th time, aren't we? And completely hold the record.
Chris.
Sorry?
We need another title.
Yes, title for the most shittiest team we've ever seen. I think I shouldn't have the Frank McClintock team to be up there. Maybe I wouldn't. Come back, Peter Taylor. All is forgiven. Yeah. At least he could win some games.
Well, he could do actually. It'd be interesting Rude's win ratio actually.
Well, at the moment, it's only 1-1, so it's not a very good one, is it? Wayne, thank you very much, sir. Let me know on Saturday, obviously, whenever your grandchildren are coming round, whether you can do that or not. Tom said he can always stand in if need be. So just let me know and I can message him. But thanks for coming on today. We agreed on a couple of them. We both went for Newcastle. We both went for Liverpool. We both went for Tottenham and got the same score. And we both went for Forest. And that's it. So we're not done too bad. But thank you very much, young man. And let me know Saturday. And if not, I'll see you next Thursday.
I will, mate. Take care, Chris.
Take care, buddy. Cheers. Bye-bye. Thanks to Wayne there. He will be with us soon. He's maybe with us for the watch along on Saturday. He's having a few problems with his streams though. When you get to a certain age, that's it, Wayne. Your streams are not what they used to be. We'll be back at 7 o'clock with me and Tom for the preview against Fulham tomorrow. Thanks so much, everybody. Sorry for the delay in starting. If you're new, please subscribe. If you are not new, you don't have to subscribe. Well, if you're already subscribed, we're 20 off for reaching 4,000. If you've got any friends that aren't subscribed that are Leicester fans, family, anybody like that, you've got more than one account, trying to get to the 4,000, please support us in doing that and smash the likes, because that does help with our algorithms. I'll see you tomorrow night at 7. Thanks very much. Take care. Look after yourselves, and thanks for being in with us here. And I'd say come on, you foxes, but really, what's the point?
Thanks for watching. These videos are tremendous. You better like them too, or I'll be back.
This podcast is proud to be part of the TalkSport Fan Network. TalkSport. Powered by fans.
That will conclude this evening's entertainment.